My name's Casey King, and I'm an artist. I call myself a maker of things because I do a little bit of everything. Some things I make are a little poetic, whether it's at the surface or it's not. But words I try to incorporate into pieces, texture, wittiness. As soon as maybe I make something that maybe it's pessimistic, I throw in a flower, or I throw in a peace sign, or I throw in a ladybug. Well, it's just expression, when I'm drawing, often it's, sometimes it's not, I don't have it figured out, but I sit down and I start drawing and, something pops in my head, whether it's a word or, it's expression. It's sometimes very spur of the moment when I'm making a drawing, and what comes out is what comes out. And I think art's very much like it could be like a diary, in a sense. I'm sort of, I'm expressing myself through drawings and paintings, and it's sort of, if you look back in time, it's a record of time. It's who I am right now, and say in 20 years, it's something different. I'm saying something different. About 2 years ago, I started actually showing in local exhibits, and previous to then, I was just making art. I wasn't really being seen. I wasn't entering it into any local art shows. Paul Henry's Art Gallery in Hammond is a great place. I walked in there about 8 years ago, and I attend their local jam nights, but about 2-3 years ago, I actually started putting my art into art shows and attending the gallery receptions. And since then, I think last year I was in about 30 exhibits, and so I finally just started to put myself out there and talk to people, and finding like-minded peers who also produce art. And there's so many people in this area who do, and growing up I really wasn't aware of that, but now that I'm sort of a part of this community of artists, there's so many talented people, and there's shows. If you want to be in art shows, every weekend there's an art show, and there's always opportunities to show work. And for the most part, maybe it's a time-consuming labor of love, a hobby at this point, but it's definitely something I enjoy doing, I love doing, and I'm glad I made the decision to go out into the world and involve myself in a community of people that are really passionate about what they do. As far as how I developed, maybe what someone may call my look, is really, I would have to say, just from exposing myself to art and looking at art. As far as a style, I just like to say I'm an artist. I think from piece to piece, it might look different than the next one. And right now I do primarily pen and ink illustrations, but to say 10 years from now, I might be doing very vibrant neon paintings that are more abstract. I couldn't tell you. So I'm not sure I'm the type of person to maybe stick to one thing. I sort of jump around and explore things, and one day I might be doing a drawing, and the next day I might be making a sculpture of that drawing and turning that drawing into a little puppet, or turning that drawing into a little paper cutout. So things take on new forms. Recently, I did a project for Shkringa Farms in Highland, Indiana, and I just did some hand-painted signs, just some hand-painted cutout signs for their hayride and their petting zoo. And to someone else, that might seem like, oh, that's sort of a little dinky thing to do, but I really loved it. And sort of looking back on inspirations too, I love old-fashioned sign painting. And for someone to look at my work and say, I think you're capable of making some hand-painted signs for our farm, I had a blast doing it.